You are listening to AM 1410 WRMN. I am Mike Napoletano, and you're tuned into On the Rise. We are back with another River Media Network sports interview. We've already previewed quite a bit of baseball here in spring 2026, but April is also a time for hockey as we push for the playoffs. This man and his Chicago Wolves have already clinched their spot in the postseason. They're just waiting on seeding to wrap up with the regular season. He was drafted 90th overall by the Carolina Hurricanes in 2019, and we last spoke to him at the AHL All-Star Game in Rockford, where he was one of three Chicago representatives taking part in the festivities. And in that interview, I also mentioned he was the 2025 recipient of the Tim Breslin Unsung Hero Award given to the Wolves player who best exemplifies on ice spirit, team first attitude, and level of community involvement. Please welcome to On the Rise, Domenick Fensore.
Awesome. Thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Now, congratulations, of course, on the playoff berth, but it came in a kind of weird way. You did so in an odd manner with a bit of a skid there, leading up to a 3-2 overtime loss to the Admirals. But you earned that 1 point in the game, and that helped the clinch. What's kind of the discussion going on in the locker room? Is it more of a, we're just kind of waiting to turn things on for the playoffs, or do you kind of just need to kick things back into gear leading into those postseason games?
Yeah, I think kind of every team throughout the year, if you're having success a lot throughout the year, kind of teams find ways to go in a little ruts along the way. Hopefully, we're gonna put it behind us here and finish the last six games we got coming up really strong, and that's gonna help us propel us into the playoffs. I know we have a lot of competitors on our team, and we're really dedicated and we wanna win and I know it's gonna be a main factor for us leading in the playoffs.
Now, you're probably slated to go against the Texas Stars. Like I said, we're just waiting on seeding here. You're in the second place spot right now. Texas is right behind you. This Wolves team has struggled head to head against Texas, going 1-6-0-1. That one being a shootout loss, but six losses and only the one win. All of those games, of course, were backloaded in this schedule, which is a little weird. You only played them in 2026, not in the fall half of this AHL season schedule. But last year, you ran into a Rockford team in which you had the better of them in the regular season, and then the tables turned into the playoffs. So, do you kind of have some of that mindset going up against a Stars team, provided you keep home ice advantage, and then, of course, a team that you've struggled with that maybe you get a different look at them in the playoffs?
Yeah, 100%. I think the games we've had with them this year have been, exciting back and forth. So, they've all been really close. So I think, we like the matchup. It's two good teams going at it. They're fun games to play in. High energy, high pace. Yeah, like last year we were kind of taking it to Rockford, and when it comes to playoffs, anything can happen. Everyone's mindset changes, and the efforts rise a little more. So yeah, if that's the matchup, we're excited about it. Whoever we play, we're really excited just to be in the playoffs and compete and hopefully, win as many games as we can.
As I mentioned last year, your playoffs got cut a little short, but looking to get back at it this year. I asked a variation of this question to both Wendell Young and when we had uh, Wayne Messmer on the show not too long ago. But I'll ask you this from a player's perspective. Has there been a little bit of a different feel in the locker room this year? Is there something different with the core of this team that you could maybe see a deeper playoff run than we did from the Wolves last year?
Yeah, for sure. I think another year under your belt's more experience for everyone. We had a lot of rookies last year. It was really cool to and neat to see them take a big step this year. One guy I can name off the top of my head, Felix Ungersorm. He's having a great year from his first year playing pro in North America. So, yeah, it's gonna be exciting. I think we have a really good team. We feel really good about ourselves, and it's exciting. Like I said, I know the rut we're going in right now is only going to help us, coming up in the playoffs. So I can't wait, and I'm really excited. Hopefully, just finish these last six games healthy and strong, playing the right way, and feeling good about ourselves.
You mentioned Unger Storm, and he has been on a tear for this Wolves team, but you yourself not too shabby throughout the year. 11 goals, 27 assists for 38 points in your 63 games played. But you also did some time, just a few games in the past couple of seasons with the Carolina Hurricanes. Now, I know we're talking a lot of Wolves here and prepping for the playoffs. The Hurricanes are making the playoffs in the NHL as well. Is there any inkling that you may be moved up, just as an extra skater, like a black ace or a healthy scratch for this Canes team as they look to make a push, or are you staying here with Chicago for now?
Yeah, I've heard nothing on that. So I think you just kind of gotta stay in the moment, and if that happens, you're obviously really excited, and but I think for the most part, everyone's gonna stay here for the playoffs, and we'll see what happens after that. But yeah, just kind of stay in the moment, and if you hear your name called, then you're obviously excited for the honor, but kind of stay where your feet are, and just see how it plays out.
Now that'll be the case probably for the Texas Stars as well as the Dallas Stars will be making the playoffs, so their affiliate will probably need some bodies. Uh, Everybody thought that the Detroit Red Wings were probably going to be making the playoffs. Unfortunately, they have this mega skid and fall short, so the AHL leading Grand Rapids Griffins will most likely, instead of having to help their NHL partner, they'll maybe get some help going into playoffs, which is going to be much tougher. And we'll get to that. We got to get through that first round first and see what goes on. But it'll be a tough sledding in this Central Division for the AHL. One thing though that I kind of wanted to transition to is I know it's been brief, but your time with Carolina. Is there something that you maybe miss from Chicago when you're in Carolina, or vice versa, something that you miss in Carolina, whether that be, the team itself, the guys, or even, just going out to food, different places?
Yeah, I think whenever you get called up to Carolina, it's you have a lot of great friends on the team in Chicago. And you build so much close relationships with them. So it's you kind of miss them and miss the atmosphere down here. Just kind of competing with all these guys. But obviously, when you go up, you're really excited for the opportunity playing in the NHL. And I mean, if I had to say one thing, like coming back down to Chicago, obviously the NHL life's really nice. They get treated really well, private plane and all that. So it's pretty cool to experience all that. So there's definitely some sides to both that you miss, and but yeah, you're always just grateful for opportunities and playing this game of hockey. It's really cool, and to do it for a living, it's really fun. Something you cherish.
Now, they have you listed as, is it Bronxville or is it Thornwood that you're
Yeah, it's
originally from?
Thornwood. Thornwood, yeah.
Thornwood?
It's I think
Thor
early on, some I put that, and they kind of stuck with me for a little bit, but I think it's starting to change over. We're trying to get that worked out, but yeah, Thornwood, New York is where I'm from.
Gotcha. So New York boy. I imagine Fensore, last name, a little bit of Italian in there.
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, yeah, my fellow Paisan. I
Yep.
gotta ask you this: the pizza scene. Are you of course through and through New York style, or have you kind of shifted over to the Chicago style? And I'm talking not just deep dish. I mean, you could go either way with this, but there's deep dish, there's the square cut tavern style. What's your take? What's best for you?
Yeah, I would say New York style for me. I like the thin crust pizzas a lot. My uncle actually has a pizzeria in New York, so I'm pretty biased for the New York style pizza. But yeah, it's. I mean, Chicago is not a bad spot to find pizza as well, but I would be pretty biased to say I'm New York all the way.
Thought I'd swing you over with that one and get you to the Chicago side. But are there any good spots in Carolina when you're down there? How's the food atmosphere? My Italian side's really coming out here. I'm getting hungry myself. But
Yeah.
anything down in Carolina?
I mean, there's always the chains of like cool like steakhouses you go to. But the Capitol Grill is always a cool spot. Like some guys take you out there, but nothing off the top of my head where I can kind of pinpoint. That's like one of the favorites, but it's a nice area down there and really nice weather sometimes. So
Well, we had some colder weather, but it was still a nice time earlier in the season when we spent a week up in Rock Vegas, Rockford, for the All-Star game. You were, as I mentioned, one of the three representatives from the Chicago Wolves. We spoke to you a little bit before, but how did that whole I want to say weekend, but it was during a what, Wednesday, Thursday. How did that whole event go for you? And how exciting was it, despite the fact that, you're going into an opposing building and they're booing you a little bit?
Yeah, it was really cool experience. It's nice to get the opportunity with Bradley and Justin, two great players. It was really cool to be alongside with them, represent the Wolves. Yeah, it was pretty funny going to they were booing us a little bit, but once we started playing for the Central, they were cheering. So it was really cool. It was really loud. A lot of people and great fans. So I would definitely say it's a cool experience.
I think it was definitely cool for the station here because we cover not only Wolves hockey but Ice Hogs hockey as well. A lot of Chicagoans know Rockford as the affiliate for the Blackhawks, so it was cool to see everybody come together and skate as one. But yeah, there's some diehard fans over in Rockford that are just Ice Hog through and through. But great weekend. You mentioned two of those guys that you were up there with, Robida and Bradley Nadeau. Talk to me a little bit about. We've had Robida on the show before, but we've also talked to Nadeau that weekend. What's it like getting a chance to play with those guys and knowing that, could be the future of Carolina with you as well?
Yeah, terrific players. I think, but off the ice, they're just really good humans. They live in our apartment complex, so we spend a lot of time with them, with Ryan Suzuki and myself. So really, really good relationship off the ice, and that leads to really cool on ice chemistry on the ice. So yeah, I just got nothing but good things to say about them. Two hardworking guys. First guys to the rink, last guys off the ice. Really want to get better. Yeah, and the sky's the limit for them. They're gonna have a bright future in hockey.
It's you mentioned another name in there, Ryan Suzuki, his brother, captain for the Montreal Canadiens, who are an up and coming team right now, looking really good and poised to probably have a little bit of a solid core there for the number of years. Do you get a chance to kind of to pick the Suzuki's brains a little bit throughout the season, or you take anything from your teammates, especially looking to move your game forward throughout the time here in Chicago or eventually in Carolina?
Yeah, we always kind of watch the Canadians play throughout the year. Whenever we get the chance, we don't have a game, so it's pretty cool to watch. The Canadians and his brother play. He's another special player. Sees the ice really well, very patient. So it's really fun to watch and kind of pick their brains. Having a brother in the NHL is pretty cool, and I know he learns a lot from his brother, and he kind of brings it to the Wolves and our teammates around us. So.
Exactly. Yeah. You've got a lot of great talent around you, but you yourself, as I mentioned before, are pretty talented. We talked about the Tim Breslin Award that you won last year for some of your either on ice or off ice attributes. But what's one thing that you've really focused on this year in your game that you've maybe changed or improved or are looking to still work upon?
Yeah, I think you're always trying to get better, and kind of one thing over the summer is just small details defensively, maybe just positioning and picking points to add offensively as well. I think I had a good year offensively, but I wanted to contribute more to the team, and I think got off to a really good start this year. I was dealing with a little injury during the year, but feeling good now, and hopefully I can just hit my stride and keep going into the playoffs because like I said, we have a really special group, and I think I can be a big part of it, helping us win. So I'm gonna do whatever it takes for the team, and I'm really excited.
Now, for somebody that doesn't get a chance to see the day-to-day of the AHL life, you guys are mostly playing on weekends, whereas the NHL are, playing, throughout the whole entire week. So the travel is a little bit different, especially you're not necessarily playing too many teams outside of your division. It's mostly, the rest of the Central Division here in the AHL. What's maybe some of the best parts of when you're on the road? Of course, we want home ice advantage for the playoffs, of course, right? But what's some of the advantages of road travel in the AHL and maybe some of the best spots that people aren't as familiar with?
Yeah, it's neat because everything's kind of a drive away, like a bus ride away, so it's not too far. So like the when we go to Grand Rapids, we always leave the day before and get in. We can always go to a dinner spot we always go to, so it's pretty nice. Get the guys together, and I think it helps gel chemistry. Going to Texas is always fun. A flight before the game and nice weather down there. So we have a lot of good spots in our division. So like Rockford and Milwaukee, we kind of bus the same day to the game, so it's only like an hour. So it's nice we get to sleep in our own bed too. So that's another plus for, being so close to each other. But yeah, like all our teams in our division are, good atmospheres to play in, and yeah, it makes you amped up for the game and bring a good atmosphere. So yeah.
Now you're part of a unique generation here for Chicago Wolves hockey because going towards the home side of the discussion, you've not only practiced with the Wolves at I believe it's the Trifen Center over here in is that Hoffman Estates, but now there is the Wolves Ice Center right adjacent to the Allstate Arena. How much easier has that made practices and getting to games and just the level of that organization's commitment to not only your practices, but everything that goes on even at the Allstate Arena.
Yeah, I think it's huge for our equipment staff. They do so much for us during the year, lugging our gear around. So I don't want to say it's easier, but it helps them. That's being so close. It's just a 1 minute car ride with all the stuff over rather than a 25 minute than it was last year. So I think for time management, it definitely helps them a lot. And the facility is state of the art. We got everything we need, cold tubs, hot tubs, saunas and great athletic training area and a gym. So it's really nothing you can complain about because it's all state of the art, it's all brand new, and I know we're all super grateful for it to get our bodies right for games and stuff. So yeah, and then playing at All-State's awesome. We've always got great crowds and always up for games. It's never really a bad night, so it's so fun to play in front of them, and hopefully we can, keep it going for the playoffs.
I feel like I have lived at the Allstate Arena, or at least that area, in the last couple months. I broadcasted a couple of Central States, or excuse me, not Central States. It was the Illinois West, but also the A-High quarterfinals from the new facility adjacent to Allstate, but then also the A-High championships for high school hockey were there. You had PWHL coming to town, plus plenty of exciting Wolves games. I know you've been on the road and traveling a lot when those events are coming and playing on your ice, but have you gotten a chance to enjoy some of the residuals from any of those or kind of get a chance to shake hands with any cool people being at such a lively building like the Allstate Arena?
Yeah, we managed to not really get the chance to see any of the games. We've been, like you said, we've been on the road, but we kind of see like what on Twitter or Instagram or whatever, like the crowds that come out for like the PWHL game, which was unbelievable. Great crowd. And yeah, like the high school games we were talking about maybe going, but it was like you said, the scheduling didn't line up, but it's pretty cool like that they get to play in like a cool building like that at a high school platform. So yeah, hopefully maybe when the season ends we'll go to like a concert or something. But yeah, they've got some great shows and sporting events as well.
You'll have to hit up Chris, a little behind the scenes. Chris is our man. And he says,
Yeah, yeah.
whatever's going on at the All-State, poke his brain for sure. But as far as the PWHL, they just sold out Madison Square Garden back near your hometown. I got to talk to the New York Sirens a little bit about that. So yes, you'll have to definitely check them out. But that leads me to representing the national team, and you've represented Team USA a couple times at various different levels, whether it was the U.S. National Development Team program. Are you looking to, of course, go further in that and hopefully get a chance to try out for some USA camps in the future?
Yeah, that would be the dream. It was really cool to be able to make the US team growing up. We had such an amazing team. It was cool to practice with them every day. Yeah, I mean that would be amazing. Always an honor to wear the USA jersey. You never know when we're gonna get the next opportunity, so it's pretty cool to be recognized and honored to make a team of any sort of USA team. So yeah, hopefully down the line, keep getting better and keep improving my game, and we'll see what happens.
That's awesome. Well, Dominic, I'm super happy to be able to watch you here in Chicago, and I know the rest of our staff is, and the fans are as well. What's one message that you would give to Wolves fans leading into this postseason, and maybe something that they should look forward to?
Yeah, I think we're really excited. We're really, um, committed to winning, and I think that it's gonna lead up. I think whatever's happening right now is happening for a reason. I think it's only gonna make us stronger, coming these next couple weeks and months. So hopefully we have a long run and ends up with a championship. So we're really excited and can't wait to play in front of the great fans at Allstate.
Awesome. Thank you again for jumping on. For everybody at home, go ahead and check out the Chicago Wolves over at Allstate Arena. They've got an incredible team this year. Fell short a little bit last year, but they're back in the playoff mix. And we are just kind of hungrily awaiting, back to my Italian food talk here, hungrily awaiting the postseason here and getting a chance to see what you guys bring to the city of Chicago because it's Newsflash, the only playoffs out of any of the teams here in Chicago that we are going to get. It looks like as though Rockford's going to fall short. Of course, our Blackhawks aren't quite there yet, and the Steel are going to fall short as well. So hopefully we'll get some Wolves postseason action throughout April and leading into May, and good luck the rest of the way. And I know that we'll be cheering for you and coming out to see you guys play.
Awesome. Yeah, I really appreciate it. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. Thank you. We will talk to you soon. Domenick Fensore, everyone.